What up, what up, what up, what up? Once again, thanks again for tuning in. This is the Activated Podcast. Your host, as always, Ibu. Today I'm here by myself, so it's just me. We're going to run through some things that is really going on in my mind, things that I've been thinking about in a sense in the past couple of weeks. The last episode, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I did. I listened to it a few times. But, I got to respect a lot of you guys' honesty that just told me straight up. I did not listen to it. But before I even get into that, to get things started, I just want to let you guys know, not sure where you're listening to on this episode, but we are available on Google Play, iTunes, and mainly on Soundcloud. Now, the reason why I even tell you guys about the Google Play and things like that, because a lot of y'all are not familiar, but once you subscribe to the podcast on these avenues, is that it automatically downloads on your phone whenever a new episode is available. So that being said, when you're on the go, because different people listen to podcasts differently, I really listen to it when I'm at work. When I'm at work, I could plug in, and as I'm working away, I'm plugged in with my headset, and I'm listening to it at work. So that works for me. I can listen to 2-3 hours easily on a podcast. So I know different people, some people listen to it when they work out. Some people told me to listen to it on the train. So if you do get these apps, it helps because it downloads on your phone when you're on Wi-Fi, or at nighttime when the episode goes live, and then, you wake up in the morning and you got something to listen to. So just wanted to plug that out. Like I said, Google Play, SoundCloud, and also iTunes is on there. So just search Activated Podcast. And if you have not already done so, please go ahead and follow the social media handles, Activated Podcast everywhere. So that's very important because this a lot of people subscribe, and especially if you enjoy it, like you can subscribe to it, and you can skip things that are not for you and that kind of stuff. It just kind of helped me direct better to know where to put certain things out and things like that. But so far I appreciate everybody tuning in. Also, we are getting it's kind of like holiday spirit kind of thing, and I went out and got a bunch of Activated Podcast t-shirts. And for y'all supporting me from day one, I already know who those people are, and they've kind of already reached out. But if you're not aware, I am giving away Activated Podcast t-shirt for the month of December. So either for you to be able to get one, and anywhere in the world, I'm sending it to you, no problem. And those that have caught me but have not caught me with the shirt, please remind me. And what you'll do is just subscribe on YouTube, or follow on Instagram or Facebook, and send me a DM with all that stuff going on and your address. Wherever you are, I'll send you one. It's no issue to me. And I know a lot of times, we don't do things unless you get some money back or whatever it is. But for me, this is just a thank you. Hey man, we're a few episodes in, y'all loving it, and we gotta keep the train going. So the t-shirts are available. Like I said, when you see me, just holler at me, and then we'll go from there. I'm trying to remember some things I want to talk about that I feel is important today. T-shirt. Also, I also want to give a quick shout out to Mama Land Restaurant Lounge. Great turnout last week. I heard they kept saying Activated Podcast, even though I wasn't physically there. I mean, that's got to be love. So shout out to you guys. If you are in the city of Toronto and you're looking for authentic, best African food in the city, I'm going to tell you, you must check out Mama Land Restaurant Lounge, especially on Fridays and Saturday. It's a different kind of party out there. You know what I'm saying? If you've never been out there, please make sure you head out there. It's 685 Lansdowne Avenue, and that's Bloor and Lansdowne main intersection in this city of Toronto. All right, cool. So thanks again, Mama Land. Actually, as we're talking right now, I'm getting some. I'm eating some as I'm speaking, so just FYI. So now, last week, and I want to shout out Chantel and Mr. E. I was away on the cottage trip. I was there. Most amazing thing ever. I was thinking about actually doing mine for my birthday coming up. Not even coming up, but in the next few weeks. The cottage life is amazing. If you ever get a chance to, you get invited. See, I'm getting in a space where I'm trying out new things. And when I mean new things that are not like so much in my comfort zone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like cottage, I've been to them. First time ever was actually a couple years ago. I went to actually ski. Amazing. And even from that ski trip, out of 10, 15 people, I was able to really connect with a good 3-4 people who to this day, we became friends, and this is the first time that we ever met. So last weekend I was in Blue Mountain. Amazing time. It's something crazy about life, right? When you got to wake up and not worry about how you're going to eat. The food is already served. Shout out to the ladies in the kitchen. And then all I really did is I woke up and started drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even have to worry about nothing like that. Amazing trip. Now, if you are planning these trips, there's a lot of work going into it. You got to have a girlfriend or a good girlfriend, if you know what I mean. So these trips don't plan itself. A lot of work went into it. I enjoyed it. I just want to give it a little shout out. You know what I mean? I'm doing other activities now. You know what I mean? Going to cottages and so on. Now, now we're going to get into the meat of things. I wanted to talk a little bit about last week's episode. Last week's episode was about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is this new kind of currency that's not hitting the streets, and we've seen everywhere on social media how people becoming millionaires from there and things like that. A good friend of mine who I used to work at, Yusuf, came and he was featured on the episode. If you've not listened to it, it was long. It was long because, to be honest with you, we could have went on for hours, but I was enjoying it so much and I had so much questions, so it went on for as long as it did. So, if you're not with the whatever it is, listen to it in pieces and bits and pieces, or, whatever. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not there to force people, what you gravitate through is what you gravitate through. But, and I've had people straight up tell me, hey, listen, I'll be honest with you. I read Bitcoin and there's nothing I'm interested in. I didn't listen to it. Now, here's why this is, and I want to share with y'all a story of Kevin Hart. Everybody that listens to this podcast, 9 out of 10 times for sure is probably familiar with Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart, I believe he dropped a book last year sometime. I got the book. I'm 50%. Actually, I've not gotten a chance to sit down and read, which I'm kind of mad at myself about, but I need to, do better in that kind of thing. So I'm picking up this new habit of reading things that I find interesting enough, and also things that are not, that I wouldn't just right off the back pick up. So as I'm reading this book, there's a part of the story or part of the book where Kevin Hart talks about he finally gave his dream a chance, right? He quit his, I think he was working in a sneaker shop or something like that. So he quit it and he moved out of his mama's house and he got his own apartment. So now during that process, his mom has agreed to support him with his dream. So she was like, I will support you for a year, something like that. I will support you for a year and I will help you pay for rent if you need it. So that being said, sorry about that. That being said, she did two things. She gave him the first and last check, which I think the rent at the time of the book, he was so much like $400 or something crazy like that. Nothing that we looked at as a lot of money now, but, back then it must have been. So, and she gave him a Bible. She was like, I will be there to help you. The only thing that I ask you to do is to read your Bible. So, of course, anybody not kind of, 18, 19, 20, whatever it is, you're like, oh, okay, mom, cool. So he gets the first and last, he pays the first and last, and then, it goes about his way. He's doing the little shows or whatever it is. And then at some point in time now, he's falling behind on rent because he's not making enough money to pay for it. And, he'll go and be like, Mom, you did promise you was going to help me with this, with my rent. What's going on? The first thing that his mother will reply to him was, did you read the Bible? And he'd go, no. And then he'll get mad at her. So that kept going on till I think he was like maybe 3 months behind or something like that. And he was like, he gets mad. So, have a little outburst with his mom. Hey, Mom, you're supposed to help me. What's going on? You're not following it through. You're not keeping up with your word. The only thing she keeps replying to him is, did you read your Bible? And of course he would say no. Now, all that is happening. I think he had one back at some point. He was like, what is this? Like, my mom keep wanting me to read the Bible. Like, I got to pay rent and things like that. So he's like, fine, I'll read some of this Bible thing or whatever. So he picks up the Bible. He opens up the Bible and 10 checks drop. Right? So when these 10 checks drops, he kind of like even laugh at himself because he like, shit. Like, of course, she was helping me. She's always known to, whenever she give me her word, and he's talking about his mom, she always came through. So he found it weird that he was falling behind, and she just kept telling him, read your Bible. How does that tie into last week's episode? So last week's episode, the day that I recorded it, even to do the episode, I had to do a little bit of research because, number one, I was intrigued, right? I was trying to wonder, why is the world going crazy over this Bitcoin thing? And number two, I'm in a space now where I love to learn new things that I'm not familiar with. I was at least give it a chance. So I went and I did the research. The day that we recorded the episode, quote me if I'm wrong, but today, what are we? Thursday, the 30th. Or yeah, actually tomorrow is the 1st. So make sure you pay your rent and your mortgage on time. Actually, that's good that I remember that. But anyways. So I recorded on a Tuesday. One Bitcoin at the time was worth $10,000, just a little bit over 10 grand. And that was on a Tuesday that I recorded it. The episode went live on Friday. And the following Tuesday, my friend who I recorded the episode with, he hit me up. And he tells me, hey, Eva, what's going on? Actually, he calls me Ibra. He said, hey, what's going on? Did you look at Bitcoin? And then I go, no, I haven't looked at it. Now, since that interview, I did went and I purchased some Bitcoin, but also, as what we talked about in it, there's different type. There's Bitcoin. Bitcoin just happens to be the most popular currency now, but there's other kind that's not Bitcoin. So I bought a little bit of everything since the episode. So now, because I couldn't afford to buy a whole Bitcoin because one is like 10 grand. And plus, it's not as easy as, hey, let me just go purchase it. You got to like find somebody willing to sell it. It's a whole thing. Like, please go listen to the episode if you want to learn more, whatever it is. So, and he goes, well, as of today, one is worth 13,000. And my response to him was like, oh, no way. No fucking way. How you telling me in a week? So in a week's time, this thing went from 10,000 to 13,000. And I went on my Snapchat and I was just, and I kind of briefly talked about it. And then everybody else at that point decided, oh man, I want to go listen to it. Oh, that's crazy. I want to buy it and I want to do all these things. People, we got to understand that the information that's going to make you successful, that's going to get you the most, whatever it is that you're looking for, this information does not come and slap you in the face, right? And to tie it in with the Kevin Hart story is he was so focused about what he didn't see. Like, it's almost like read the Bible and then your rent is paid. You know what I mean? And I'm not comparing my podcast to the Bible, but let's just say if a couple of y'all picked up, because I picked up the information and not even throw numbers out there in as far as how much I purchased and things like that and how much it went up by. But, it's crazy to me where the information, if it doesn't have a certain shock value or a certain catchiness to it, we ignore it. Well, the most amazing information, they are inside of books and, whatever else it is. So I strongly urge somebody, and this is not a plug to twist your arm, hey, listen to it. But I think whether that be this podcast, whether that be that book laying around, or whether that be something that you always wanted to do, you must always get out of your comfort zone. And sometimes you might have to go research it, because now what's happening is Bitcoin is popping. Cool. I can't afford to even buy one, and that's the honest truth. But you know what? I am paying attention to what's going on. So I might miss the Bitcoin opportunity, but I promise you, should another opportunity rise, I'll be able to identify it. And this is the reason why I even give y'all this information is, I want us to be better. And when I mean us as black people, us as whatever, us as people overall. And I know there's a certain, I cater to a certain type of people and things like that. And this is why I do this. And I'm be honest with you, in all the podcasts that I've recorded, that might have been top two, most informative podcast that I've had. And I'm just surprised that, we not gravitate to it. But I also understand why. You know what I'm saying? So always remember, give everything a chance at least once. Like, I'm here, I'm the product of not trying new things. Growing up, it wasn't cool to do shit that nobody else was doing. Like, it's like growing up, if you didn't have J's, you wasn't cool, right? Now I'm sitting there telling you, I don't care what everybody else is doing, what I think is cool. I still love J's and I rock them, but my most comfortable pair of sneakers that I currently own are Adidas. Half the price, cool as shit, and my feet don't hurt when I walk around for 10 hours. We got to start to unlearn certain behavior and start to, don't be afraid to take a leap of faith. If you truly believe in something or you want to look into something, don't wait for the general consensus. Because what's going on is, after I posted that on my Snap, everybody hit me up like, oh, yeah, whatever, and I want to invest. Oh, sorry, I didn't get to listen to your podcast and things, which is cool, but, somebody could have listened to and found valuable information. The more of that story is, do not be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone to try something new, because you have no idea. I'm personally, unless I try something, I cannot tell you at this point in my life, I cannot tell you whether or not I enjoy it. I got to give it at least one try. So that being said, get your Bitcoin Game Up episode is out. Listen to it. And if you don't like it for whatever reason, please let me know. If you have questions, Yusuf is definitely available to help us, understand it a little bit more than we should. You know what I mean? So that was my whole thing on it. And I really thought like, oh man, like really y'all even, I thought that y'all would have found so much information. And, in terms of investing and things like that, I mean, we talked about so many things on there. It wasn't even funny. But anyways, we're going to skip right through it because there's no point of recording a new podcast and talking about an old episode. So that being said, another thing I want to talk about. So currently, we're talking about different things. The Libya thing is now taking a life on its own. Right, pray for Libya. Things going crazy. I've even watched an interview from the president of France when he was talking about different things, which I find to be very actually a well-spoken man. If you speak French, then you could go listen to things that he say. I was just fascinated about that, but. The confusing thing is, right now we're in 2017. When you see these headlines come up, slavery still going on. I'm trying to make sense of it. I can't. Right? It's so many information that I'm not privy to that I don't even know. Bits and pieces. And also, I think a lot of us, we are afraid to misspeak in a way. Like, I don't want to give you a firm opinion about things that I'm not really familiar with. The only thing that I could really think about is through this ordeal is love. Like, how do we get here? How do we get better? How do we help? For a very long time, I never really paid attention to any political stuff. It's nothing that I understood, nothing that I cared about. But I think, again, if you're sitting there waiting for things to personally affect you, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're a part of a bigger ecosystem, which is the world. We cannot wait until it's like almost saying the guy that don't use condoms, wait till he catches something to now decide to protect himself. I think you should be proactive. You shouldn't gamble your life away in that sense. So, and even currently in Toronto, as I'm actually talking to you guys, I got a phone call yesterday, I believe, and we're definitely looking to organize some. I don't even know if I should announce this because I'm not sure if it's this is open to like just the public, or we're going to do something and then let the public know how they can help. And I think that's kind of what it is. But I just kind of wanted to put it out there already that we're trying to figure out a way to combat this. But how does me sitting on this mic help slavery going in Libya? I'm not sure. And that's a scary part for me. The fact that I could I could sit there and honestly tell you, I don't know how to fix the shit. You know what I'm saying? I always find that it's very important to be the better version of yourself, or at least to do the best you can. Stop trying to cut corner and things like that. I could tell you all these amazing things, how the world should be, but to be quite honest with you, that's not really, it's not a reflection of what's going on in the world today. You know what I mean? From mass shooting going on in North America to, our people still suffering back home in Africa. It's very confusing to me. And today also I was going to reach out. One of my friends was supposed to call in, and I kind of wanted to get his vision, how he sees it. So unfortunately, he couldn't do it and things like that, which is fine. But I want to speak, but I don't know what to tell you guys. And what's crazy about Libya is if we look back, I was reading today, we're looking for people to blame, right? They blame Obama, they blame Hillary. They definitely have their own issue in terms of they've contributed to that for sure. And, there's conspiracy theories going on saying that, Gaddafi was killed because he was trying to unite the create a United States of Africa, tied into the currency. And, you got people saying that, while he was alive, he did many great things but he also was a dictator. So for every luxury that we now get to benefit from, there has been a sacrifice to that. For our cell phone that currently we're using is coming out of conflict zone out in Congo, or at least most of it. But we're not affected because this is not something that we see eye to eye. It doesn't affect us. When I go out on my street right now, my car parked in the driveway, I could just drive to the grocery store, get some groceries, drive back home, come home and do what I do. But for everything else that you have the ability to do today, somebody else has paid a greater price with either their life or something else. And I just want to, my take on it, like I said, I don't know how to start. But I tell you what, I think with the organization that's going on in Toronto, and I would be able to let you guys know as more details is, hopefully that is a step in the right direction. But also, you social media warriors, you jump from one issue to another, and in these times, it's really like, it's like last week, man's was hot. Like, we was all on that. Cool. That's going to fade away in about a few weeks. By the time we come back from our holidays, we don't forget about him. We moving on to the next topic. And I think we also treat real serious issues in the same mannerism. Right? And all we've been doing so far as I see, is complaining. I've even seen a post where we're talking about don't pray for Libya, pray for slaves in Libya. If you ask me, I can't tell you the difference, right? Because that is a broken country. And I believe, too, and we talked about it last week, is that Libya currently doesn't have a government regime. It's kind of like everything broken up. Some people, control one side of the country, other people. And so a lot of people get to understand these slaves from which we speak about. These are people that were maybe misinformed in their home country, and they were looking to go abroad for a better life, or what they thought would be a better life. So then, they get on in these cars, they go through deserts, and they get to the point, because at some point Libya, and Italy, you're supposed to be able to get in the boat and get across, and all of a sudden we live in a better life. And I was listening to an interview that Akon was doing, and he was saying how North America is the number one branding center, because the way that they have America painted, or even Canada for that, is that, come here, you can make anything out of life. This is the most amazing country. You could start with nothing and become something, which to a certain extent, we are a product of that. We've all started with nothing. Started with, no money. And that's why a lot of times when we want to talk about certain things, I'm like, oh man, like I am a product of, I mean, for you to truly understand what I'm saying, maybe you have to understand what my story is up until now. But, not that long ago, I was looking at $26 in my bank account, and my credit card of $1,000 was probably like $985. And I was going to my last interview. When I say my last interview, that was the last interview that I got the job, and then I took a leap and worked towards other thing. But I went in there with my back against the wall, because I didn't know at some point I was going to run out of money within the week. If I had 2 more interviews that week, that would have been it for me. I would have tapped out. And maybe the story would be different. But what I could tell you is, sometimes when your back is against the wall, that's when you come out swinging. You know what I'm saying? And to go back to once again to the Libya thing is, it was people that were sold dreams that once you cross over that, ocean or whatever it is, at the next side of things, everything becomes better. And just people that not fully understanding what's going on. And then once they get into war zone, these are like, these are prison maybe that was, holding refugees, because there's a lot of migrants, and this is the route that they take to get to the European, because I guess once you cross that, you can look at a map, once you cross over and you get in there, you're supposed to be able to kind of move around Europe in a lot of ways. But, once they get there, obviously somebody's abusing their power and taking advantage of it. And in a country where it's chaos. And I believe they actually just recently went through a civil war in 2014, something like that. Don't quote me on it. Like I'm saying, like I'm not an expert. All I'm doing is reading and trying to figure things out. But that's kind of how things went. So as we're changing our profile pictures, as we are retweeting stuff, as we are even on social media arguing with each other, we also got to understand that at some point in time, as people, we got to take accountability for our action, and we got to start to become the change that we want to see in the world. Because it'll be easy for me to come up here and preach to you about, hey, this is how you should live your life. Support black businesses. And I don't do that. Be your real authentic self. And then when you guys see me, I'm living a life or whatever. I'm the number one person to tell you, listen, hey, man, yo, you look like you balling. Nah, bro, I'm just working hard. And if you want to do it, here's how you do it. Because amongst your friends, if you look around, jealousy really comes from your friends looking at you as if you are above them in any mean, shape, or form. This could not be true in many ways. So I'm always praying that my friends are actually doing a lot better or even as good as me. That way we don't have this kind of negative energy amongst us. But this is just my friend circle. Now, as you travel outside of that, somebody else that don't know you had different feelings towards you, which is cool. But if everybody get to a level of happiness, not even success, a level of happiness, a lot of these issues maybe take care of themselves, or maybe they don't. I don't know. How do we end slavery? No idea. But I tell you what, I'm going to go to this meeting. I'm going to listen. And I'm hoping that when we get in these kind of things, we're not going back and forth with each other. And, there's always the person that always trying to sound smarter than everybody else. And sometimes you got to listen with the intent of not replying and really get to absorb and soak in the information that's being dished out. So I just want to say I love you, Libya. I love you because at this point in time, I don't even know what else to do or say. You know what I'm saying? And the scary part is the rule of 90 that I talked about. If you're on your 90-year rule, and if you've not heard it, it's on the first episode, you got to now think about what the future is going to be. Because most of us have, and that's even the scarier part where we start to think about, I don't have kids now, so I always think of my little brother when I'm thinking about the future. But it's almost like, what is it going to look like for them in the near future? You know what I'm saying? What seed are we planting now to enable, the next generation up to be kind of better than when we at? Abuse of power it's a lot of things. I mean, it's and also new thing right now that's going on is also a lot of I forget the actual term, but these are refugees caused by a natural disaster. I forgot what it was. I'm forgetting the word right. There's actually even a movie, Geostorm or some shit. I gotta start hitting y'all with like actual movie titles. Because I see a lot of movies and I be trying to tell you, hey, yo, go watch this, but I don't even know the title, which is kind of crazy. But it's on the Android box. If you got an Android box, you can check it out. I think it's called Geothermal. It's just human trying to control the world's weather, and then somebody hack into it, and it's just the whole thing. It's amazing. Also, another movie that I watch is on Netflix. It's Saving Capitalism. And please, if you have not seen it yet, then you're listening to this podcast, do yourself a favor. Go read that and go watch it and learn some new things. You know what I mean? So, Libya, I love you. And I'm hoping that the next time I get on this mic, I have a lot of things that have made sense to me, because a lot of it doesn't make sense. I hope that we become better individually so we can empower each other. Even that it's a far-fetched idea. Could be on here and tell you don't steal, you still gonna go steal. It's a different zone, but at some point in time, either we become better as humans across the whole world ecosystem, or we become a self-destructing kind of timing bomb waiting to go off. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, praying for y'all, and not just praying it because I'm saying it, but I'm, as you can feel it, like I'm really, I'm in a weird kind of space. But of course, as always, it's good to have these dialogue. Now, another thing too, I'm excited for the next couple of weeks, things to come up. I will be taking a short break during a holiday just because I want to enjoy my holidays as well, right? Because this is a lot of work and things like that. But in the same sense, take some time off, enjoy time with your family. These are the most precious time. I feel it. The holidays are almost here, so it's always one of those things. So, yeah, man, Libya, I love you. That's all I can really say. It's just no making sense. And I also seen a lot of times where the government is responsible for this, and people, it's deeper. I think it's a deeper issue than that. It's a deeper issue. I've also, I went through Morocco last year when I was going back to Niger, and it wasn't the most pleasant trip that I took. And especially going through Morocco, I almost want to give it a second chance, but the treatment that they have towards dark-skinned people it's a different story altogether. Being mistreated is an understatement when I'm telling you this. And I would like to share that story with y'all in a little bit. Maybe not even on today, but it's one of those that'll get you confused, because Morocco, last I checked, is still on the continent of Africa, but they might not even view themselves as that. But I also know a lot of Moroccan people that are amazing people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at French Montana. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those, man. I'm just, if you could listen to this and feel what I'm saying, I'm in a different weird space today. So, but I just want to, put the word out there. Let's continue this positivity that we're trying. And I believe the meeting is this Saturday. So once that happens, I'll be able to I don't even know if I'm allowed to, but I'm going to say it anyways. I'll be able to figure out from then. So what else did I had something else in mind that I wanted to. Oh yeah. Last thing I want to leave y'all with is, I was watching a video on YouTube. YouTube is a new TV, by the way, but I watch everything. And it was talking about the power of words, how one word can save a life. You know what I mean? And this is important when we're talking about, especially on the podcast, and we're trying to influence, but also be real authentic and also spread a lot of the good energy and educate each other. Just remember that your word carry meanings, and the next time you want to say some things to somebody that's not so positive, just think about it before you unleash that, because words are they're very powerful in a way. You know what I'm saying? So to wrap things up, I want to say once again, thank you, everybody. This is just me here today, so I was gonna keep it very short, sweet, sincere. I felt something on my heart today, and I just wanted to go on here and say something. And this is for everybody out there too, just continuing to support me. I love y'all for it. The ones that as soon as they listen to episode, they'll hit me up like, yo, I love it. Continue. I mean, this is like I said, this is for everybody. This is not just for me. And if you do have an inspiring stories and you like to share with some of us, please don't hesitate. You know what I mean? So once again, the T-shirt giveaway is happening. So if you do want a T-shirt, if you don't, we have not interacted personally, just please go on my Instagram, follow, send me a DM with your information. I'll make sure to get you that shirt. No charges, free cost to you. All right. So that being said, this is the Activated Podcast. Your host, Ibu, and you've officially been activated. Peace.